Hi, Warisha. Thank you so much for helping with my project. Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Warisha Azeem, and I'm like living in country Pakistan and city Karachi. And my interest is in arts, and I am 17 years old. I have completed my intermediate, and I am now going to complete my graduation.
And you say you're into arts. Could you talk about the art that you're into?
I am into in sketching, coloring, painting, and sketching faces. Uh, and coloring. That's my interest.
How long have you been sketching?
Sketching since 2 years back when I was in metric.
And do you remember what got you interested in that?
I think my interest was because of my friend. I had a friend when I was in five. She was interested in art, so being with her and seeing her doing creative things, I think I got that thing from her. And I was in it when I was so small. When I was 7 8, I used to draw Barbies and used to color it and used to make Tom and Jerry's, and I was so much appreciated by my dad and by my teachers. And I also do tie and dye, if you know about it. And I also participated in school activities, and from going further, I started sketching in metric. That's sketching is quite hard because you have to draw the exact face, and just by a pencil you couldn't use any more colors. So that's where I started.
And how much time do you spend sketching now?
I don't spend now much time in it. I don't spend that much time. Basically, I'm free right now, so nowadays I spend much time in watching movies.
um, that's neat. That's a good question. What are some of your favorite movies?
My favorite movie, okay, The Pursuit of Happiness, Twilight, and I watched the movie Amazoni. It's Indian movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, The Pursuit of Happiness. I've seen that. It is not a happy movie during most of it. A lot more pursuing than happiness. What do you like about that movie?
I have listened. I have listened from my cousins that it's a quite great movie and I should watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I have watched its premiere trailer, so I will watch it later. But it's in my favorite contact that I will watch it when I will be free, because it's not on the YouTube. I had to watch it from another website or download it, so I will watch it later.
Well, I'd be interested to hear what you think about it.
What?
I will
Sorry.
be interested to hear from you what you think about it after you see it.
Okay, I will tell you. So
Um,
tell me something about you, your intro.
sure. So I live in Houston, Texas, and
Mm-hmm.
I work in the software industry. So I'm on the
Mm-hmm.
computer all day long. But
Mm-hmm.
my passion is around space exploration and seeing humanity go out into the stars, into orbit and then to the moon, and then maybe to Mars, and then maybe even beyond to other star systems. As we learn about the size of the universe, it's such a huge place with all
Mm-hmm.
these stars and planets and galaxies. And it seems funny to me that humanity is so focused on this little bitty speck in the middle
Yeah.
of this huge place. I feel like
Mm.
we could go out there and make the entire universe our home. And I like to people to be inspired and excited about this vision of humanity, getting to
Mm-hmm.
explore.
Yeah. When I listened to it, I was also interested. First of all, when I heard about you and your project, I was interested in your personality when I first saw you in a in an interview. So I was impressed by her personality. Wow, what a cool guy! I will definitely interview him. So that's why I connected with you and I messaged you.
I I really appreciate that. I'm doing one of these interviews a day for the next
Mhm.
1199 days. So I
Oh
need
my God.
I know, so I need a lot of help getting connected with so many people.
Oh my God. So let's start about your questions.
Oh, in fact, today is my 12. I have 1,200 interviews to do. So if you like nice round numbers, today is the interview number 1,200 since I'm counting down. So
What? Interview number 1200.
well, I mean,
That's great.
I've only done like 650 so far, but I started at 1840, and then each day I'm
Mm.
getting smaller, right? So it's 1,200 today. Tomorrow will be 1199, and the day after that
Mm.
1198 till finally zero at the end of
Oh,
2024. So. Well, did you know that NASA is planning to send astronauts to the moon in 2024 for the first time since 1972?
till 1972. No, I don't know it before. I knew it before 4 to 5 months before. I knew that NASA is planning to take humans on the moon. So I was shocked to know. I said, "What? This is fake. No, it can't be." But when I saw your program and see you doing interviews, so I get my belief on that. Yeah, it is going to be true. And when I was small, I really loved to. I love to be an astronaut. I want to go on the moon. And when I see this, I thought, oh, I get a light. I get a spark from there that yes, I could make this dream possible.
Do you still want to be an astronaut?
No,
What changed your mind?
what changed my mind? Okay. Basically, I have my 2 years, 11 and 12 from engineering, but my interest is in art side. Engineering just it makes my mind so much. I can't explain it in words because I don't like it. And when I think about being an astronaut, then there would be it would be a changed career. I would have to change all my things. From an engineering career then to an astronaut, it would be a hard and risk-taking career. I don't think so. I would go. The thing that in mind is I'm confused at what should I take. So I'm confused nowadays.
Well, you might be interested to know this. Have you heard of a project called Dear Moon?
Dear Moon.
Uh-huh.
No, I hadn't heard about it.
There's this Japanese billionaire that's paying
Mm,
SpaceX to
mm,
build a rocket and to
mm.
send 8 artists around the moon, with the idea
It,
that these artists would be, would see Earth from the moon, would experience this, and would come back and create like a lot of art. So there are people who think that we need artists in space, somebody that can go there and be able to take this experience and create things that allow other people to connect with
mm,
it, not just engineers, who design
mm.
stuff, but people who are able to, and because art, you're like connecting with people on an emotional level, right? You're
Yeah.
making them feel something.
Mm.
And so your art may actually be the way to become an astronaut.
Yeah. Nice idea. So now I should be an artist because I will get the great chance to be successful and to I will travel the moon. So I will send you my arts. Then you should I think decide that what should I be. I will send you my pictures which I have sketched.
I look forward to seeing them. It's amazing to see um, how creative and imaginary and artistic and skilled people are.
Okay, thank you so much. So,
Well, what do you think about us sending people back to the moon? How do you feel about that?
sending people to the moon.
Yeah, how do you feel about NASA's plans? Is it something that excites you or something that you feel a little bit of disbelief about? Which you said, you weren't sure it was happening. What's this? Um, or is it something that you're like, why are they doing that whenever, we need to be taking care of like global climate change or some other issue? I
Hmm.
mean, like, how do you
Hmm.
feel about it?
I feel excited when I heard about this, and I think we should experience it. The people should believe in it and should definitely try it once. It makes me amazed and it makes me excited that okay, something's new is gonna happen. Okay, so that's
Yeah, I feel the same way too. I think it's going to be a really exciting moment when people all around the world can look up at the moon and see some evidence that there's humans there. Maybe that's 10 years, 15, 20 years from now. But I mean, can you imagine seeing like lights or, maybe some type of markings or something? And you're like, wow, there's humans that are living up there on the moon.
yeah. Nowadays, today, if we talk about it, people will not believe in it. It's quite unbelievable. But when it's done, so people believe on it. Starting when when the smartphones were not discovered, so when the ads were going on that you will have the world in your hands, and like these type of things were going on when the smartphone was not in people's hand. People do not believe on it because it wasn't done yet. But some people have that belief and they go on to this project with this project, and nowadays we have this world, this small world in our hands, and we are communicating from it. So I think that in the future, inshallah, it would work. Inshallah.
Inshallah, for sure. I mean, it's amazing to think about. I mean, I remember it wasn't that long ago, you had to pay a per minute fee to call the next city. Can you imagine? And here you and I are talking across the world for free.
Wow. So great.
Well, you said you wanted to be an astronaut, so I think I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it anyway. If it was safe and affordable, would you take a trip to space?
If it was affordable,
Yeah, safe and affordable. Would you go to space?
yes, why not? I will definitely experience it. It would be. It is some. It is in from my interest because it my interest is in it. So I would definitely go and experience it. Yes, I would.
Well, I really appreciate your time and thank you so much for meeting with me. Is there
Thank you.
anything else you would like to talk about, or did you have any questions for me?
Yes, I have questions left. I have a lot of questions, but we have no time to discuss them. So my first question is that, well, where did you start? How did you start your journey? Where do
Um,
you,
like the journey with this project, or like my life journey?
well, your life journey?
Life journey. Well, I started out in a small town.
Hmm.
We had there were 87 people in my graduating class, just to give you an idea of the small school I went to.
Hmm.
My son recently graduated from a high school where he had like 800 plus students. So
Hmm.
it's difficult to imagine so many students. But at the time that I graduated from high school in the 1990s, the internet was
Hmm.
really big and I was into computers. And anybody who knew anything about computers could instantly get a job with like one
Hmm.
of these internet companies. So my career kind of progressed along the computing route, but I still
Hmm.
had this passion about space exploration. And so I've
Hmm.
been working on doing side projects like this to kind of get connected with
Hmm.
my passion. And let's see, in terms of like family side, I got married. I have two children, but
Wow.
one's just graduated from college. The other one just started college.
Mm-hmm.
And I live in Houston with my wife and my in-laws. And yeah, that's the basics of it.
So when are you going to call me to home? We will definitely meet one day.
Yeah, absolutely. If you come to Houston, I give you a tour of the Johnson Space Center, show you where the astronauts train and where
Mm,
they kind of control the missions from. So you should come over.
I'm so excited about this. Inshallah, definitely. I will be so glad to meet you. And when I'm imagining that I'm meeting you and exploring that city and those your project, I'm so amazed. Inshallah, this should happen. I want it to be happen. So my next question is that what's your routine, your morning to night, your sleep cycle, and all how you manage all the things. Just in one day, you have to do a lot of things, and how do you manage them?
Yeah, so I could manage them a lot better. So
Mm.
I haven't gotten the perfect routine down yet, but I
Mm.
usually wake up at 6:45. I try to do these interviews at 7. Then
Mm.
my work starts at 8, and
Mm.
usually I have a list of things I need to do plus some meetings, and then I try to finish up with work at 5, and then in the
Mm.
afternoon spend that time with family and friends.
Mm.
Sometimes we play board games or go on a walk or go play tennis or go on a bike
Wow.
ride or watch a movie or something like that, and then usually asleep by 10. So that's pretty much the day.
Wow. It's a very good routine, and I'm still stuck in my sleep cycle. So you are great. That's amazing. So that's nice. So it's 7 a.m. there,
Right now
morning,
it's 8 a.m. Yes, morning.
and here is 6 p.m. evening. It's quite different.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, just think about it. At every moment of every day, somebody's waking up.
Do you read books?
I do. In fact, I've been reading this book. Let me turn off the little virtual
Factfulness.
background. Factfulness, exactly. There we go. That might be better. But
Mm.
what it talks about is, a lot of people, at least in the United States and Europe, are
Mm.
constantly being bombarded about all these problems in the world. And we kind
Mm.
of miss the fact that the world is actually improving. The
Mm.
internet's getting rolled out. People can have discussions across the world.
Mm.
Education's becoming widely available.
Mm.
Health is improving.
Mm.
People's lives are improving. But it
Mm.
all kind of happens without being made in the news. And so people are constantly feeling that maybe the world's about to fall apart. And this
Mm.
book kind of goes through some of those statistics, to talk
Mm.
about. I mean, Pakistan, for example, has improved a lot over the past few decades, in terms of infrastructure I know it's a gradual improvement. There's like still lots of opportunities to improve, but
Yes.
if you look at, like, if you talk to your grandparents,
Mm.
I'm sure you'll be very surprised about what their lives were like compared to your own.
They were totally different. In that time, we don't have technology. The and in past years, the technology has made a great. You can say like it has upgraded its level. So it's a huge massive difference between in our life and their life. Today we could solve any problem and we could get the answer of any question from YouTube. But that time, if they wanted any answer, so they have to talk to their parents, or if they wanted to know, for example, that how to be financially successful, so they have to meet someone specially or talk to their parents. And if their parents are not, then they have to concern with someone else. But today, a child have YouTube, just search it and you will know everything about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, if you want to learn how to program or how to build something or how to cook, I mean, I I mean, you and I could learn how to cook Japanese food, and we don't know anybody that cooks Japanese food. But there's so many YouTube channels, or we could learn
Yeah.
how to cook food like from Algeria or wherever, and like so much, or how to paint or how to draw. It's like there's so many options.
Mhm. Everything from beginning to professional.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, how to pick up that first pencil to how to make this huge drawing that it's really awesome.
Yeah.
Are you reading some books too?
Yes. Nowadays, I'm reading two books. This is 40 Rules of Love.
Oh, wow. Oh, what is it
So
about?
it's not really about pure love, but there are two stories are mixed together. One going about Ela, her lifestyle and her career and her relationship, and the next one about Shams and Tabriz. Two stories they are cobbled together. But it's quite hard to understand this book. I have so much difficulties, but so I read it and then I don't because it is quite hard. But the easiest book which I love is this Ego's Dynamic.
Oh, wow.
It's quite practical book. It's my most favorite.
I uh I will have to check both of those out. With this interview,
Yes,
my reading list keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
that's amazing. I like that. So do you have a library in your home?
I do. Yeah, no, we have maybe several thousand books.
Oh my
Um,
god.
I know, I know. We I mean, they've come from all over. Some have come from like my grandparents and father,
Mm.
and
Mm.
then some we've bought at bookstores or have been given to us, and
Mm.
then some have been required for school, and then occasionally we come across like the library here has like a big book sale every year where they sell really cheaply their kind of older books. So you get like a whole grocery bag of books for like $5. So it's really cheap. And then one time I went to this bookstore and they were trying to get rid of a lot of their old books and they were giving them away for
Mm.
free. So I
Wow.
I know, I know. So we've collected quite a bit, but we have maybe I would say um, maybe 15 bookshelves, and
Wow.
um, they probably have thousands of books
Amazing.
on them. Yeah, I unfortunately it's a lot easier to buy a book than it is to read a book.
Mm. Yes. I really love to do book collection, but when you started to read it, it takes a lot of time to understand that author's mindset and in what's in the book because the cover is so totally different what's written in that book. So I have bought this book. I think 5 to 6 months back, and I'm unable to complete this 40 rules of love. I really think that how I'm going to complete it because I read it from the starting. I reach to the middle, then somebody calls me, or I had to go to any work. I close it, then I forgot everything that what was happened. I have to read again from the starting. That's quite annoying to me.
I understand that problem. Have you considered maybe taking some notes?
Yes, I have started it. I discussed it with my friend, so he also advised me that you should make notes so it would be easier for me. I'm not such a procrastinator. I delay things till it becomes so important to do. So the
Until
next day, hmm,
you delay things until it becomes exciting.
yeah, I do it. And I also want to change this. So, any advice for me? How could I change it?
Oh, I unfortunately I have the same problem. I am just so much looking for an answer to this question as you are.
Wow.
There's been a
Same.
few moments in my life though where I've planned things out and it worked out really well.
Mm.
Um, but I mean, there's a lot of things that are boring and not fun to do. But if you wait until the last moment, then they become exciting.
Yes,
and
I
so,
observed this today.
and so it's really hard to that really causes you to procrastinate on more things because you're like, I could take this really like paying a bill. Like if you pay it 2 weeks ahead of time, it's just work, whatever. But like if you wait until like the last moment, you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta find the checkbook and I gotta get a stamp and I gotta, you know.
So
Yeah.
I think that it just happened to me. But according to you, I realized that this happens to all people. All of the people struggle from this. But I think how did Bill Gates and Elon Musk read the 4 hours a day and they read it? I heard in a video that Elon Musk or Bill Gates, when they were at my age, they read it 15 hours a day. How?
15 hours a day?
Yes, 15 hours a day.
I have no idea. I have trouble doing anything for 15 hours a day.
Or I think they are super genius, born super genius.
Yes, the world is not filled with Elon Musk and Bill Gates, is it? There are
Yeah,
only a few people. But it's a good question. I guess we need to get more joy out of planning things out, and we need to celebrate kind of doing things proactively and get more I guess, encouragement out of that than we do getting excitement out of pushing things to the last moment. So that's the challenge. That way we could train our minds and our to kind of do things on time.
yeah, it's a challenge. It's type of challenge, but it's a thing from which we have to fight with ourselves and we have to make it. If we have to do someone else's work, we do it in an immediate at an immediate. But if we have to do something for ourselves. We take a lot of time to do it because we let it go, to let it go. We just have to do it for ourselves. So what's the thing to do? We keep on procrastinating, and at last, when comes to anxiety, we at the last moment we're completing it, and it's also quite exciting at the last moment when we do it.
It is. Hmm. Well, if you come up with a solution, please let me know. And if I find a solution, I'll let you know.
Okay, okay, great. I will let you know.
Well, I really appreciate your time. It was so fun to get to talk to you, and I learned a lot. Um, I got 2 books to read now, uh, and please send me some of your art. I would love to see it.
Okay, I have a. Would you like to see it now, or I should send it
Sure.
on your
No, no,
messenger?
let's. No time like the present.
Now, okay, wait. I, wait, wait. Actually, at firstly, I sketched a girl. Wait, this is my sketching.
Oh, wow, that's so beautiful. I mean, so much detail, and like the shading and the that is beautiful.
And I have another. It's a crying girl. Like this.
Oh, that is amazing. You know, I've always had trouble drawing noses. Like I can never get it right. And lips are hard to draw too. I that's something, but that's amazing. How long did these take you to draw?
This take me 2 days.
2 days. Wow. And did you have to go through several like drafts, or like did you draw them, like did you start out with like a smaller sketch and then kind of have to do multiple of them, or did you just have it in your mind and start out from the beginning?
Basically, I take this picture from YouTube. Uh, there was she was a teacher of art, so she was. I saw a video, so I opened it and I started to draw. First of all, the first girl which I've drawn, I draw a smaller sketch for just to see that how best could I give. So when I draw, I said, yeah, I could draw it. I have something passion in me. So when I draw it on the sketchbook, all the people I show, they're just stunned. Oh, it's your sketching? No, I can't believe it. My mom even don't believe that it's yours. It's really yours. They don't believe in my sketch. I said, I think that I had something hidden talent, but I am such a procrastinator to let me know that what's in, because if you have something, if you have a passion, so it takes time to discover it, or uh, sometimes you know immediately, but sometimes takes time. That okay, if I will do graduation from engineering, maybe I will be not more happy than if I would do from arts. So it's a quite confusing thing to choose that where should I go. Either should be in arts, either should be engineering, because I have spent my 2 years in engineering, 11, 12, so other 4 years in which I don't know. I'm confused.
But I mean, like the ability to visually communicate, you know, to have an idea in your head and to put that on paper so that other people can think about it is important for so many things, like engineering, um, you know, just kind of planning and you know, I mean, it's a great skill that'd be useful for lots of things.
Yeah, I usually don't. I draw sceneries. I color them when I have something in my mind. But these I have taken from YouTube, so it's not. I haven't get idea from my mind. I have many ideas. I basically am a very idea-full person. I have so many ideas, but I don't implement it at all. I do when I see that okay, my mood is to do it, so I do that thing. So what about you? About these things you do when you have the mood, or if you don't have the mood, it's important. So that's why you do it.
Well, I'm probably more of it's easier to do it when you're in the mood and inspired, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of have the idea. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, obviously, with this project, doing one interview a day, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter if I'm in the mood or not. I have to get one done every day. So
Yeah.
this has been kind of a personal growth project from that perspective of kind
Yeah.
of setting out this goal of being consistent with this one thing. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that maybe by doing this, I'll get the
Mm-hmm.
confidence and start developing the mental processes to apply the
Yes.
same kind of approach to other things. So maybe I can do other things in a more disciplined fashion. So I'm
Yes.
hoping.
This is. This
Yeah.
is. This is. It happens. I'm also in this way to do interviews, but I'm not in a consistent manner. And I learned this from you. So from nowadays, I will try more harder to be consistent in taking interviews, because makes me more self-confident, and I think for you too. Yeah, as you said, that it brings more self-confidence and it lets you learn more and more of how people think and what are their passion and how when kinds of people you get to know that how people think about life, career, or, and anything. There are so many things in life to discover. As a biggest mind has great things to explore. Your journey is very interesting. If I were in your place, I would be enjoying a lot.
I definitely do. I mean, I love connecting with people. Like in this
Mm-hmm.
video, I feel like I learned a little something about you that we've
Mm-hmm.
connected. And yesterday, I interviewed a father and a son, and it was so
Wow.
neat to kind of connect with them, and
Mm-hmm.
also to see the parallels between kind of like their relationship and my relationship with my children, as well
Mm-hmm.
as the differences too. And
Mm-hmm.
and the day before that, I connected with another person that had gone to Florida, like I had, to watch, these four people go into space this week. So that was neat. But it's really, really amazing. And sometimes, you go up to a stranger and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Hi, I'd like to interview you for my project." And they're like, "Oh, I don't know about this interview," or whatever. And you get to talk to them a little bit about it, and then they're willing to do it. And then you have like a really good conversation. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, "Wow, thank you so much." So those are really neat times too.
Yeah, obviously they are, and but some people don't like it, so they don't do it. But there are some people who believe in it. They go on with you. So I think the main happiness is in the journey. While we are talking to someone, trying to persuade them to come with us and have a good conversation and interview. So your next till 2024, your mission is to be on the moon. So what after that? Next move. What about next move?
Well, I don't know. I haven't planned that far. Sometimes it's enough. Um, I'll know more in a few years than I know now, and so I'll be able to answer that question better then. Um, so I'm just really
Mhm.
focused on maybe the next 3 months, 6 months, year, and not really
Mhm.
thinking too much about the far future.
Okay. Thank you so much that you give me your time. It was pleasurable, and I'm quite excited and happy to meet with you. It was my dream to talk to you because I really like your personality, your way of talking, and the way you talk and you speak and you collaborate. Thank you so much, Nathan.
Thank you, and you have a good rest of your evening, and look forward to seeing more of your art sometime. And if
Inshallah.
I read these two books, then maybe
Mm.
we can share our notes and observations about them too.
Yes, wow. You are, I think you are creative. You have a creative mind. You have got many ideas. So, I have something more. I just write, this is like this. I have, the thing is called
Don't be afraid.
of
Death,
death.
be afraid of an unfulfilled life. That is definitely true. Definitely true. I completely agree with that.
Thank you. Thank you for appreciating me. Uh, this literally give me a boost and a goosebump to do more. Your appreciation. My little sister, uh, would you like to see her sketching, her painting?
Absolutely.
This is hers. It's
Wow. How old is your sister?
she is 30 years old.
30 years old.
30.
Okay.
13, 13.
13, 13. That's great. You've inspired her.
Yes, it's about a girl and dad.
Her life. She started out as
Yes,
a baby being
small.
carried by her dad, and
Yes,
then she grew up with her dad, and
yes.
The
Mm.
last picture, that's also her dad. Now she's as tall as her dad.
Huh? Huh. Morning. This is morning. This is
Morning.
evening, and this is night.
That's amazing.
It shows that how the time changes.
And it's great. And also you can see like the blossoms on
Mm.
the branch also are changing. Oh, and the sun has
Yes.
become like the moon, like across the three
Yes.
panels too. It's really
Yes.
good.
So you have two sons and a daughter. Daughter as well.
No, no, only the two suns.
That's nice. She has drawn more. I think she's inspired by me because I have she has seen my sketching. I have something more to show you. uh, this one.
Oh, wow. And those are butterflies coming off of her hand and flying into, or one of them is about to land, I think. And you got like the sun there. Oh, and the ballerina in front of the moon.
Yes.
That is so cool. Those are watercolors.
Yes, these are watercolors. She has more drawings and paintings. She is creative like me, and she has sketched. I will show you of a girl.
Of a girl with long, and what's the last word?
It's written a
Long
girl
hair.
with long
Long
hair.
hair. Yeah, it was
Yes.
cut off the screen.
Mm.
It's really nice, like the shading and like the lines are all perfect.
Mm. From backside. It's from its backside. I've it would take time. I have too much to show you, and it was a quite interesting conversation with you. Like it seems that I'm talking to you for the very first time. It seems like I have been talking to you for. It doesn't seem like it's first. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I hope that maybe you could take some pictures of your art and share them. Um,
Yes, why not? I would. I would definitely. So tell me about your son that what they're interested in and in which field they are.
right. So my oldest son, he's interested in longevity research,
Mm,
understanding what causes aging and how to
mm,
cure it. So he wants
mm.
people to live a lot longer than they do, maybe
Wow,
hundreds of
amazing.
years. Can you
Yeah.
imagine being like 400 years old?
Oh my God, and nowadays 400 years old.
Yeah,
It
can you
happened
imagine?
back in 1200 BC, but nowadays, no, I don't think it would be possible.
Yeah. Uh, and and also to not to look old, but to look like you do now in 400 years, to be have the same body and being able to do all the same things you do now, but in 400 years. So that's what he wants to figure out how to do. Um, so that would be
Inshallah, may God grant him success in his field. And what's about your next son?
he's into computer science, but ultimately he really wants to get into business and become rich. So
Everybody has their kind of thing. Yeah, so I also wanted to get rich. I also wanted to go in business. So I read books on that. I have books Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and The Psychology of Money. Yes,
what was
two
the
books.
second book?
The Psychology of Money.
Psychology of Money.
Hmm. You are
See, my
noting.
yeah, my list of things to read is getting longer and longer and longer.
Will you read them all? You will just get them, buy them, and you will keep it in your shelf, or will you read it completely?
I think my wife is going to make me get rid of 2 books for each new book I get, just so that the number of books starts reducing. So I think I have to read them before I buy new ones. So I have to finish Factfulness. So I'm about 2/3 of the way done, and then I have some other books after that too that I have to read.
It's a quite, I think it's a very big book. It's thick.
Yeah, it is. But it does have a lot of graphs in it. Um, so
Mm,
let's see.
mm,
So some of the pages are like that. So I
mm,
mean, it's still a lot of words.
mm,
But it it's gone pretty quickly. It's an exciting subject. One of
mm,
the themes of the book is common misperceptions around the
mm,
world and how those misconceptions are a barrier to growth and development. Like, for example, a lot of people around the world might think of Pakistan as being an undeveloped country.
mm,
And so they don't invest money in businesses that are in Pakistan. They don't build factories in Pakistan. They don't, try to sell products in Pakistan. But this is a bad misconception, because Pakistan is a modern country. It has,
mm,
infrastructure. It has public health. It has airports. It has,
mm,
the rule of law. It has,
uh,
smart citizens that are creative and able to do things, right?
mm,
And so for the people that are able to learn the truth about the situation, it could provide a really good opportunity for them. It may be the place to invest in companies, to hire people from, to
mm,
go and visit even. But because of that misconception, you have all these like investment funds and investors and you
mm,
know um, business people who aren't
mm,
really evaluating the option as
mm,
well as they should. So that's one of the
mm.
big themes in the book is around ideas of that.
So, which type of book do you love? Either comedy or either conceptual, romantic, or which type of book do you love to read?
I think I like science fiction, of course. I mean that's uh, goes without saying. But biographies are interesting. By reading about other people's lives, it can give
Mm,
you ideas about your lives. What were their challenges? How they overcome them?
mm,
How do they seize the moment of the day? How they
mm,
develop the relationships they needed, the
mm.
viewpoints they needed in order to kind of have the best life, and what things can you borrow from that?
Wow, nice. So I would like to ask that what was your darkest moment of your life or your darkest years with what's leap year? How do you cope up with them?
Yeah, the darkest moment of my life. I've been really blessed that I haven't really had many dark moments in life.
Mm,
But I would say one of them would have to be my older son. Whenever he was young, he had like
mm,
some issue with his hand, and for
mm,
a few days, we thought maybe it was bone cancer, and so we were really concerned
oh,
about that. And it took several weeks, or maybe even a month, to finally find a doctor that can figure out what it was and fix it. And he had to go through
mm,
surgery, and just going through that period of time, and it turned out well, but that was kind of scary, with like the children. But it didn't
mm.
last that long, and it turned out well, so it wasn't that dark. Um, and I have a very bad memory when it comes to dark moments in life. Maybe that's why I'm so happy.
Yes, it happens. I think that's why we're so happy. So would you like to share it on the screen?
Oh, sure. What?
Any more dark moment of your life?
Oh, dark moments in my life. I see.
Like, if I talk about myself, so I had my dark moment in my, you could say, in my education when I wasn't interested in what I was studying. I didn't like the subject when I was studying, so I lost interest. I think, those were my 2 years of my education, 11 and 12. Back then, till metric, all things are fine, good going. And when this intermediate level came, all the things, the graph was going this, and it was all
Hmm.
the down. So I lost many things. The time just spent with my friends because the studies were harder. So I had to give more time to it. But the, I learned from that that we have to create a balance in relationships and in your studies, because if one is unbalanced, the other will affect it. If you have this kind of, you could say, dark moment of your life, anything about your career or financial or health, something like that.
Um, well, I mean, my health has been okay, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in terms of financial, we've always seemed to have just enough for what we need. So that's worked out well. I'm sure there have been some. I just can't think of any of them right now. Uh, but if they come to mind, I can send them to you. But I don't. I. I. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's never been like any real like big dark moments. I mean, there's been like a little things, like you said about um, you have the test done and you're not studied for it, or the project's due and there's no time to do it. You wait until the last moment, or this thing at work you're late on, or you've disappointed these people, or you wanted to connect with this friend but you missed the opportunity, or you forgot to put the garbage can out for the trash to take away. Not really. Not really a dark moment, but but
Okay, so what about your happiest moments when you feel okay, all is done, all is good, and you feel very much fulfilled and satisfied? Happiest moment.
happiest moment. Well, I mean, seeing my children, graduate from high school and from
Mm-hmm.
college and go to college, that's very happy. And then maybe sometimes a family trip. Like I took my younger son to Europe and we
Mm-hmm.
spent 4 weeks going to like Iceland, Ireland, the
Wow,
UK.
amazing.
We went to Italy, Greece, France,
Oh my
and
god,
it was such a fun trip.
nice.
And I was so happy on that trip, to kind of go with them. But after the
Mm-hmm.
trip, I was so sad, you know, because I was like, now this is done, like we're not going to do it again. It's and so the
Mm-hmm.
chances of like this is an experience now in the past, so I was really excited about it, really happy about it, but then sad that sort of it's over and probably won't
Mm-hmm.
happen again type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the thing.
I think we have done both. You have taken my interview, and I am also taking yours. We two in one. We just did in one time. What a coincidence!
Yeah, good
So,
planning.
when I see the time, I said, "Oh, I'm late." I think that he will not take it. But when I reach you, you said, "Okay, no worries." I'm like, "What a cool guy he is! No worries. Okay, that's great." So, my next question is that how to be more logical in a situation, because when any situation came, bad or good, if a problem came, you have to be more logical, more conceptual to solve it and to take full of it that what is it and how we are going to solve it. Rather to be emotional, you will just cry or will just be sorry. You will you can make the most of it. So how are you more logical about it? Is there some exercise about it or anything? Is just reading logical books, conceptual books will make you more logical, or anything which you could which you think could help in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, so you like have situations like this all the time that come out. Maybe you've locked the keys in the car, or maybe you're late to some place, or maybe you missed the bill, or maybe
Mm,
you have a project that isn't going to be done on time.
mm,
And it's very easy to get emotional and to lash out. Maybe somebody else distracted you at the time you were closing the car door, and that's why the keys are in there. But one critical question to ask yourself is what will help to improve the situation, right?
mm,
And to kind of stay focused on that as much as possible. Like
mm,
it's not going to help to get mad or upset at people because
mm,
um, uh, that may feel like what you want to do, but it's not going
mm,
to help. And so also you need to kind of keep things in perspective. So
mm,
like you have these little situations that are easy to become really bad situations. But if you could kind of take a step back and look at a broader scheme of things, or look at this
mm,
moment, imagine you're looking at this moment 10 years from now. What will you think about it then? And then try to act in a way that you'll feel good about it 10 years from now, as opposed to the moment there. So I think those are the two things. Stay focused on what will actually help, like
mm,
work the problem, think about the problem and the solutions.
mm,
Also, try to get help from other people by talking about the problem and um, seeing how they would solve it. Sometimes they've had the same problem before and they found something that worked and they know it, but they don't know you need
mm.
to know it or that you're willing to listen to
Yeah.
them. Uh, so that could be a thing. And sometimes just talking about it with somebody helps you think about it less emotionally. And just
Mm,
having to take the situation and break it down to a set of sentences, right?
mm,
Can help break the problem into smaller parts that are easier to deal with. So
mm,
those are my thoughts.
nice. Good thoughts about that. Okay. So I was asking you that about your project. Uh, you are taking interviews. So when you will complete it, then you will ask the people that who rather who, um, who wants to go to the moon. Then you will gather them and take them to the moon. Is that like this type of thing is going to happen?
No, no, not at all. In fact, I'm not going to the moon. Trained
Oh,
astronauts, who work for NASA, would be going to the
mm,
moon. So
mm,
this is more of my project to go and try to connect with people and
mm,
understand how they see the world and the future and what they think about
mm,
this development, this next step in humanity. Uh, I would like to go to the moon. And I keep telling my family that I plan to retire on the moon. But
mm,
I might need my older son to be successful with his longevity research so I can live
mm.
several hundred years to make it happen.
So I just like in my country, the average age at which the age at which people die is 60. And 60 is the last people die. So what's the average age in your country? Like the Japanese, they had lived to 104, 115 years. So what about your country?
I think it's around 70, 72, that many years.
Mm.
So
So he could got help from that book. It's Ikigai, and it's about the Japanese people and how they live so long. Like some live to till 115 or 120 years, and nowadays it's quite impossible for one to live. But they have some good things in them. Like if you read that book, you will get to know that they mostly use rather to go on a bicycle or on a car. They use prefer walking, and they mostly engage in those activities which they love to do. Like some people don't love what they are doing, but they do it because they have the need to do it, and that's quite embarrassing and it's quite hurting. That when you love the work that you do, you will do it more passionately and you will get more results rather a work which you don't love. So I wanted to ask that a kid has many questions. Like I had many questions in my mind, but I can't ask them in one time. And when I ask one, there are a lot of the bearing that in my mind. So that makes me so much confused. So what I should do? As reading books makes me more answerable to my questions and interviewing people. So what about that?
Well, you have basically two phases that I think you have to operate in, right? Two
Mm,
modes. One mode is the exploration mode, right? Where
mm,
you're seeing what's around you, you're asking questions, you're letting your mind go free.
mm,
You don't have any plans.
mm,
It's like the confusion mode, right?
mm,
And then in that mode, you need to identify certain things that you want to do, right?
mm,
And you identify those things and you're like, I'm going to do these things, right?
mm,
And that list probably should be really small and really important to you. But
mm,
in that mode, these are things that you're going to be very plan out and you're going to be very
mm,
disciplined about. And
mm,
maybe every day of your life is split between a little bit of both of these, or maybe
mm,
you spend a few weeks in one and then a few months in the other.
mm,
But maybe you should think about your life in those two different modes, the kind of exploring and trying to just see
mm,
what's out there, but making sure that you do have a little bit or maybe a lot of that mode of very, very disciplined and getting something done.
okay. So, do you have you read any book on career? On career, that how to choose a career or any book about on it? Do you know any book on career?
I don't. I don't. I make a note to myself to maybe keep an eye out for those topics.
You are an amazing person. It's so nice to meet you.
You're an
Great.
amazing person too, and I feel likewise.
Thank you so much. So, today, this is your last interview, or you are going to do more
Yeah, I'm going to do 1,199 more.
today? Today,
Oh, no, no, today I only do one a day. Only one a
one.
day. Precisely one a day, every day.
So, how much time does one interview take?
Sometimes it only takes a few minutes. I think my
Hmm?
shortest interview is like 30 seconds, you
Oh,
know?
30 seconds.
Yeah, so I do one every day. I don't
Hmm.
always have them scheduled like this.
Hmm.
Sometimes I go to the mall or the store or the coffee shop, and
Hmm.
I will ask a person to do an interview with me.
Hmm.
And maybe they only have a little time,
Hmm.
so that those are really quick. And then sometimes it's really hard to find people. Um, Maybe I feel shy going out or I can't find anybody to strike up a conversation with. It's very difficult to talk to strangers sometimes. Like
Hmm.
people are busy and focused on their own things. There's lots of people that are trying to sell you something or maybe trying
Hmm.
to scam you or, um, mislead you. And so there's like this bubble that we have that's very difficult to break through sometimes, right? And then online, you may not be able to find somebody that's available or willing to do an interview. So I
Yeah.
there's some days I might spend a few hours looking for people to interview so I don't miss a day, and it get really stressful about that.
Mm.
So it varies a lot. Um, uh, yeah, I think, and the longest interview I had was 3.5 hours.
And the means that who was that person and where does he or she belong?
Yeah, he was from the United States. He was
Mm.
a high school teacher,
Mm.
and the conversation veered off in lots of different directions. And um,
Mm.
I would say I've not had any interviews except for that one take more than an hour and a half, and that most of them are like 15 or 30 minutes. So that's
Oh, I thought that my interview is also going to be last for the 30 minutes, but it's quite amazing that I don't want to stop that. I just want to keep talking and talking and discussing more. So, do you have any questions? Do you have any more questions?
I don't have any right now, but I feel so nice to get to know you, and I um, would love to stay connected online. Maybe we could talk again in a month or two and see um, how things have changed on your side, and more art that you've done and other thoughts that you've had.
So I think we should challenge that you should if you buy the one of the books that I've told you, so we should like a challenge that who reads first the book, he would be the winner.
Uh, so which book are you going to read?
I have too many books. If you have one of the books now, so you could tell me Ego is the Enemy, the 40 Rules of Love, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, and the Psychology of Money. These books.
Well, I tell you what, after I get through with Factfulness, which I think will happen this weekend, I will choose one of those books and read it.
Mm,
And then after I get done with that,
mm,
maybe we can have a conversation on it and share our the parts of it that we thought were good and the parts of it that didn't make much sense and the parts of it that uh,
mm.
those types of things.
So I would like to take an advice for me that I'm not punctual in my sleep cycle or having my breakfast or dinner time. So that's why I think this is affecting all the things around me. Like if I wanted to read book, so I have to do many things at one time. I have to have dinner and I also wanted to read a book, but I can't do it in one time. So I have a disturbed sleep cycle. So what do you think? How could I manage it? Because I mostly wake up at night and I sleep in the morning. And it happens to my friends too. I'm not alone in that. It happens to my siblings too. So should I not change or should I set time for it? That in this time I will read book and I will not do anything else. What do you
But
think?
I think it's important that you do what works for you. And what works for you may be different than what works for other people. And so
Yes.
the question you have to ask yourself is, um, is it working for you? And if it
Mm,
is, don't stress about it. Just keep it up. It's fine. But if it's not
mm,
working for you, why don't
mm,
you kind of be very intentional about what you want to change and then just focus on something small and make a small change and see if that gets you closer to where you are. But
mm,
just because other people have a certain pattern, that doesn't mean you should follow their pattern. You should be
mm.
100% you.
Wow, amazing answer. Thank you very much. Okay. Nice. Quite good to meet you. Okay, so my next question is that if we have a goal, and we wanted to achieve it. So are there any pros and cons for that? That you should do this. If I had a goal, so I should do it in consistent manner. So I should read it because we don't know when we will achieve that goal. If like example, I give example. Like I have the goal to finish this book, 40 Rules of Love, and it's not going to finish. I think it would take a year to finish it. So uh, it depends on me that how do I manage to complete it because it depends on my willpower to complete it because most people buy a book and they don't read it completely. The thing is first to read it completely. So I wanted to complete it in one sitting, but I know it's not possible because when anyone would call me or I had more things to do. That's
You
the
know,
thing.
um, uh, if you're not getting anything out of the book,
Mm,
then maybe there's no point in reading it. And if you are getting something out of the book,
mm,
maybe you'll read it naturally. So the
mm,
fact that you're having trouble reading a book, unless there's some reason to do it, maybe it's
mm,
better to forget about that one and focus. There's like so many books out there, right?
mm.
uh,
Yeah.
may, like you're not going to be able to read all of them anyway. And do you really
Yes.
want to waste your time with the book that you have trouble getting through when there's probably a book out there that you totally would love? Maybe it'd be good just to forget about it and move on to something else.
Yeah, that's a quite nice idea. Wow. I will definitely do this because I have trouble in reading this 40 Rules of Love. I think reading it completely would give me something out of that book. But the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People and This Equals the Enemy, this is inspiring yet practical because it gives me, in one time when I read, it's only quotations, so I get most of this book. That's why I just keep on slipping onto one, then onto one, then onto one, and I move that is okay. This is the situation, and how could this book would help me to get out of this situation? So I mostly do things like that.
That is awesome. And I unfortunately I need to go to work, but it was such a pleasure to get to talk to you, and I look forward to staying in touch.
Okay, so we will meet and inshallah after one few months. Okay, that's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you very
Aap se
much.
milkar bahat khushi hui.
You know how to speak Urdu.
Tora Tora.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I am quite unhappy. Okay. मुझे भी
But
आपसे मिलकर बहुत खुशी हुई.
Bahat Bahat Shukriya.
आपका भी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Well, I look forward to talking to you again. And until then, I hope everything is goes well with you.
Okay. Wish you all the very, very best. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.